our current sun is doing nuclear fusion at its core, and it's maintaining hydrostatic equilibrium because the inward pull of gravity is balanced with the outward push of pressure, and this is keeping it from swelling up. But when the fuel of the star runs out, this is what happens. Okay. Hydrostatic equilibrium can no longer be maintained, and the core starts to shrink because of the inward pull of gravity. And when the core starts to shrink, it starts to collapse. And when it collapses, it produces so much heat that the outer core starts to collapse with it. And when this happens, the outer core starts to do nuclear fusion. When this happens, the star releases so much energy and light that makes it swell up and become its first phase of a red giant. Now, this phase will only reach Venus's orbit. And what happens is that the sun continues, the core of the sun continues to collapse, and by that it's producing heat. It goes from 20 million Kelvin to 100 million Kelvin. And with this kind of heat, helium is able to transform into oxygen and carbon. So when that happens, the star starts to make to have equilibrium again, and it shrinks into like the sun we have, but a little bit bigger. It shrinks and it maintains hydrostatic equilibrium. But this won't last forever, because when this is still happening, the star will collapse again. And when it does, it will become the second phase of the red giant. When this happens, okay. So when this happens, what's happening inside the star right now is that the core continues to shrink and collapse, and it releases so much energy. And with this, it will release all of its mass and become a nebula. But the Earth, in this case scenario, the Earth can either end up two ways. So when the sun becomes a red giant, it loses mass and it loses the whole of its planet, so the orbits expand and the Earth survives. But life won't be sustainable because of how close it is to the sun and how much heat it would be. Or there's another scenario where the Earth is and it enters the surface of the sun and it evaporates from its surface to its core. Thank you.